Hello everyone and welcome back again to a brand new video. Integrating Flutter with Firebase amplifies app functionality. This tutorial demonstrates the process of linking Flutter applications to Firebase services, enabling real-time database connectivity, authentication, and more. So guys, let's get started. Before we start with this video, make sure to watch it from now till the end so you have the full information. So guys, for this specific tutorial, we are going to follow this specific guide. So Firebase has this guide on google.com, firebase.google.com, that explains everything about add Firebase to your Flutter app. So the first thing, as you can see, is to choose either you are going to do an Android app, iOS app, or a web app, because it really changes from one to another. So here, the prerequisites are: install your preferred editor or IDE, set up a physical Apple device or use a simulator to run your app, click on this plus. Do you want to use, like, for example, cloud messaging? Make sure that your Flutter app target the following platform versions or later. So here basically they are saying that you have to at least make an app that is for iOS 11 or macOS 10, 13 or plus, which at the moment we have arrived to iOS 17. So yeah, you have the whole section between 11 and 17 to work between. So then install Flutter for your specific operating system, including the following: Flutter SDK, supporting libraries and platforms specific softwares and SDKs. So for this specific thing, what you will need to do, so here guys, what you need to do is to download VS Code. This is the first thing that you will need to do. So go to Visual Studio Code. As you can see here, this is the link or the URL, and download it, as you can see, right through here. So choose either you have macOS, Windows, or Linux, depending on what is your operation system. Now if you don't have one of these, you can simply click on other downloads or just open it on your browser. Now this is for the VS Code. Now for Flutter, how can you download it? Simply go to Flutter official website. So let me just remove that, Flutter official website. Here we go, and simply click on get started. Here choose your operation system, so Windows, Mac OS, Linux, or Chrome OS. Choose Windows. In my case, go all the way down and click here to download it. Just one thing guys, is you have to get these system requirements. You have to have these tools, and also if you were like having Flutter in China, well, you have to read another page about China and how to work with Flutter in China specifically. Otherwise, you just have to follow this process. So here, download the following installation bundle to get the latest stable release of Flutter SDK, and extract the zip file and place the content Flutter in the desired installation location for the Slacker SDK. For example, user profile Flutter, dev Flutter. So it's going to be something like that. Do not install Flutter to a pad that contains special characters or spaces. Do not install Flutter in directory like C/program files that requires elevated privileges. So we are now ready to run Flutter commands in the Flutter console. This is basically it. Now let's continue here. You have to add sign into Firebase using your Google account. If you don't already have a Flutter app, you can complete this get started test drive to create a new Flutter app using your preferred editor or IDE. Now install the required commands line tools. So if you haven't already installed the Firebase CLI, well, log into Firebase using your Google account by running the following command. So simply you have to go here, depending on, for example, you can use it on a console if you do have a console, but it will not really work in normal console. So you have to go here to the Google console, Firebase console, and in it create a project or whatever you want. Here, give it a name. I accept Firebase. Here we go. My blog, for example. And now let's create the project. Here we are making it. It's not gonna take a lot of time, so just wait for it until it is fully loaded, and then you will be good to go. So now all we need to do is to follow this step by step. We have all of these commands that we need to copy and paste in our projects. So here I am about to finish it. So continue, and the project has been created successfully. So this is basically our project. So now Firebase to your app, this is the app. We can now have all the way here and start coding and adding. So here we can find build, we can have authentication, we can have hosting, storage, everything that we may need. You can here go to extensions and find any extension that you want in Firebase, and you might find also Flutter as an extension in Firebase, because here if you want to VS Code, as I said, you will find here a lot of Flutter options. So there's Flutter widget, Flutter normal, Flutter files. You might find the same things in here. You just have to like really look for them. You can click here to explore all the app and simply search for Flutter. There is paid one and there is of course the free one, so simply search for Flutter and you will be able to find it. So this is one way of adding the extensions. So now you have to install the Flutter file CLI by running the following command from any directory. All this has to be from your PC, guys. Then step 2, configure your app to use Firebase. Use the Flutter file CLI to configure your Flutter app to connect to Firebase. From your Flutter project directory, run the following command to start the app configuration workflow. So your Flutter project, Flutter file configure, and click on plus. What does this Flutter file do? You can learn, like, everything here is actually explainable. If you didn't understand anything, you can simply click here and it will explain it for you. Step number 3. So for step number 3, which is initialize Firebase in your app. From your Flutter project directory, run the following command to install the core plugin. So go to your Flutter project, Flutter pub add Firebase core, and here you should do this as well. So the next step is import package Firebase core, Firebase, etc., and then copy this code, reboot your Flutter application, and then by the end, step 4, add Firebase plugins. Simply just click here, Flutter add plugin name. You could literally give it any name. It should be Firebase Flutter plugins, and simply just follow this, and then here they are the available plugins that you can use from Firebase. So it has to be one of these, Firebase installations, dynamic links, any one of these, and then you are good to go. This is simply it. It can be a little bit complicated for newbies, but it is very easy. You just have to copy and paste these commands, replace them with the name that you want, and that's it. So yeah, guys, that was completely it for today's video. I tried to be a bit informal in my language so you can have all the informations. Guys, make sure also that while you are doing what I have shown you, you are also selecting the correct section. There's iOS plus, there's Android, and there is web. So in case you were following me like on iOS and you were having web, well, there will be a lot of contradictions. So make sure, guys, that you are on the correct path. You are doing it your way, not my way, because it really varies from web, Android, and iOS, as I said at the beginning of this video. And yeah, guys, that was completely it for today's tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you guys a lot for watching. If you do have any more questions, make sure to leave them down below in the comment section, and see you guys in the next tutorial.